Alrighty guys, so we're back on Project Elves gravel bike, and some much anticipated upgrades have finally arrived, which I thought I'd take you through. They aren't all what you think. Some of them are off the bike, some of them are on the bike, but just some of the stuff I've uncovered along the way with this really fun and exciting project that I thought I'd share. So first and foremost, maybe the most unexpected, is the unintended impact of loving white shoes. So I, like most cyclists, believe that a pairing of white shoes and socks is unbeatable, unmatched, and definitely unlocks extra watts. I don't care what the facts say, this is my truth. And for gravel, I didn't necessarily want to go and buy a white pair of the SWEC torches, I think they're called, or whatever it is. It's beautiful, it looks amazing, and I just can't justify it yet. I will eventually, but not yet. So I went combing through my shoe cupboard and found Old Faithful, these bontrager, I think they're called circuits, if I'm not mistaken. Coincidentally, these are circuit road shoes. This is a circuit, it's a road shoe. And I bought these when I first started cycling, which is 900 years ago. Not really, it's only like 5 or something. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they've worn pretty well. They've done some pretty extreme gravel adventures. They've done lots of really slow road races. They've done rain, they've done mud, and many others. And at 2,600 Rand, I think they were retail 4 or 5 years ago, I could justify throwing these to the white shoe cause. And all it took, I popped down to gear change into car. They've got an adapter that fits into the bottom here and allows you to fit the right cleat so it can slot into those mountain bike pedals. And paired with some white socks, I'm happy to donate after using like 3 or 4 or 5 times. I now have my white sock combination. So top tip hack if you're looking for white shoes on a budget. On a more, actually it's not even on a more serious note, this is entirely cosmetic. I'd be lying if I said this is performance orientated. No one I know doesn't froth for a csixx chainring. It's impossible. I had the pleasure of, while at CE Cycles, we were busy doing the build actually, and a representative from csixx was there, which I didn't know. Next thing you know, he's swinging an Allen key around. We're working on the bike together, and we're all just busy agreeing how sick a white splashed csixx chainring would look on there, the speed ring. So needless to say, the child in me couldn't say no to that. So order placed, paid, and within a week, that's done and dusted. I think it looks absolutely ridiculous in a good way. I did go from 40 to 42 just to get a little bit more top end. You will have heard in a previous video I mentioned on the flats I'm losing a bit, but the bike is geared so that I can climb comfortably up Golgenberg and Rooiberg and everything else. That's what that's what I'm aiming for it to do. So I'm hoping the 42 will give me a little bit more there and not punish me too hard when it comes around to the climbs. The white splashed finish is a fairly standard offering from them. You kind of like pick your color. And I think it looks absolutely amazing. You can let me know what you think down below, but for not a lot of money, this adds an extremely custom touch to the bike, and for me really brings it together. What we did at the same time is I caved, and we decided to see if the T-type cassette and chain would have the seamless shifting performance that quite frankly you would expect as a bare minimum, considering what you spend on these things. On the downside, they don't have the color range that they offered on the old GX range. So you had the rainbow finish, which I had on the chain and the cassette, which I absolutely love. You get the blacked out, you get the plain. So quite bleak, that's fallen away. I don't know if they plan to bring that at a later stage and they're going to then sucker me into buying another one in like a year's time, which I probably will cave and do. But that's visually a notable downgrade on their part. As far as shifting performance is concerned, the issue is definitely dealt with, so that's obviously what the problem was from a compatibility point of view. Looks fairly standard, nothing really to write home about there, but reliability is the name of the game. Yeah, that's the main reason we fitted the UDH derailleur. So we'll see as it goes. How it goes with time is a lot of big miles planned. So we'll see how it handles there, and we'll report back again. Then second lastly, this started out as a visual thing, but became more performance orientated, is bar bag. I got so much flack from this from some people and got glazed by others. I loathe putting anything on the bike. I don't like frame bags on the top tube. I have to run one down on the C tube off the back for the tour. You'll see an aerial shot of our entire kit. You have nothing to go with you on this trip other than what you can carry. And if you've done a bikepacking trip, particularly one with a little bit of pace injected into it, you'll know that a bag swinging on the back that's heavy is an absolute nightmare to ride with. I learned this for the first time last year when we went and did this thing, packed everything under the sun and paid the price. So I intend to go with at least half of what I had last year in terms of kit, in terms of clothing. There will be a deodorant, don't worry, and plenty soap. But as far as everything else is concerned, wash it on the day, dry it on the day, pray God it doesn't rain, and just reuse stuff. So you do need storage though. And this bar bag, you won't see, I'll have to take a picture and show you, but we added in some insulation tape, electrical tape around the bars, so that this is made out of a fabric that shouldn't scratch it, but rather be safe than sorry. And that basically just then wraps around onto there. This thing I've sprayed with a hose pipe. It gets absolutely no water into it. Might need to get a video of that, so some B-roll footage. And you've got, you can fit so much stuff in here. The DC tool, probably the most useful gift ever received. Sisu 2-hour fuel cell gel. I could probably fit 6 of them in here at least, which is more than enough fuel. There's a bomb taped together with plugs, and the little socket, for the CO2 canisters. There is a little adapter here, so I can use the pump at a petrol station. And again, they're still probably not going to see it on there, but with the levers, with all that in there, there's still plenty space. So this is from Cafeducycliste, which is not readily available in South Africa yet. We're working on that. There's a handful of them available in the country. That does clang around. It is quite annoying, but it's less annoying than every other option that I've tried out. Which leaves me with a final and most important component of this whole trip, which is Old Faithful, the Uzwe. Who would have thought that Camelback could ever be dethroned? But for me personally, there's no comparison. Uzwe is just absolutely phenomenal. I think there are offerings now that, where they clip over your chest and come underneath your arms, because if you've ridden with a Camelback and you've gone downhill, you'll notice that it does this on your back and it bounces around, and it's an absolute pain in the arse, which is, I think, where the slogan of Uzwe's comes from. It's somewhere on here. It says "No dancing monkey," which I think is quite cheeky on their part. You can fit 1.5 liters in here. You can throw whatever it is that you're using in there. I'm going to be rolling with 2 csixx. Carl Mitchell's given me a recommendation on a fueling plan for all 6 days of the George to Cape Town gravel tour, most of which involves sachets. You can't travel with a round tub, which limits the fuel options that you have. 2 csixx, hold in a high regard, tons of information readily available from Carl. Literally WhatsApped him and got a whole voice note back on this is exactly what you need. This is how you space it out. We'll try and lay that over in plates so you can hear it, from the man himself. But that sachet you can pack into a bag, into nooks and crannies. Open this up, fresh water in, mix the sachet, Bob's your uncle. Very easy to pack and fuel for that over the couple of days. This for me is the most convenient way to make sure that I have enough, rather than counting bottles and mixing into them. You can see there's bottle cages on, so I will use, but that for me is an absolute no-brainer. And obviously it's white, so we get an extra 10 watts from that, and matches the shoes and socks, which are so important. Those are a handful of the upgrades we've put onto the bike. Some of the other stuff we're looking at is gravel specific wheel set and wheels. We haven't narrowed that down just yet. If there's any you think we should look at, must look at, have to look at, make sure you review these. Please let us know. We'll see what we can get our hands on. I think that's often regarded as the biggest value upgrade you can make is wheels and tires. So we're going to see how deep we can go on testing those and gravel specific ones. I'm pretty interested to see if there is a step change from a gravel wheel offering over and above a wide, standard road one. So we'll see what comes of that. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, if there's anything you'd like to know, please reach out, let us know. Hope you enjoyed the show. Ciao.